All right, sounds good. Dom, if you want to unmute us.
All right, go for it.
All right, let's go ahead and we'll jump right into questions for Coach Barnes, starting with Grant Ramey, then Mike Wilson.
Rick, how much work has gone into the last 5 or 6 weeks? So how much overhaul roster, coaching staff that you've had to do since the season ended?
Well, we're excited for both Coach English and Coach Oliver getting a chance to be head coaches. And that's something that those guys have worked for many years. And for them to get the opportunities that they had, again, everyone involved is excited about that. But with and we're excited about how things worked out for us through our recruiting and the fact that, we knew that and felt that with the transfer portal being there like it would be, it would give some guys a chance in the program that hadn't had the opportunity to play as much as they would like to pursue other options. And but a lot of credit goes to the work that the previous staff had done, and certainly with the addition of Coach Gainey and Rod has been it's been a great thing. It's been really a smooth transition in some ways, because once we got into the search looking for new staff, we pretty much had an idea where we wanted to go early, and we're fortunate and blessed that it worked out the way it has.
Rick, how do you feel about kind of the current build of the roster with a lot of the turnover you've had, and do you know what you plan to do with those final 2 spots at this point?
Well, no, we're excited. We really are. I mean, we're more than excited, because we just feel like the needs that we felt like we needed to address, we addressed. And but the thing that's exciting too, we had a good spring. We didn't have one a year ago, and the guys in the program that remained, I thought, really had a great spring. And and we've always felt that the real improvement comes from within, and the fact that with those guys coming back, it's going to give us some experience, some more than just really 2 guys, going into last year. And so the spring was good for us. And again, we didn't have one of those last year this time. And then we're really excited, obviously, too, with the younger guys that we have coming in, and pretty much been able to do it, the old-fashioned way, with the exception of one person coming through the portal, really recruiting high school players. But we have those 2 scholarships, and like always, we're always recruiting, we're always evaluating. But as of now, we're not planning on doing anything. But again, it could change because of the transfer portal, and just day to day now. I think the biggest thing is that you have to be in position to try to manage, the roster. But I've said to you guys, we don't ever stop recruiting. I mean, we're already down the road, but it would have to be something really special for us to add to what we have right now.
Then just a quick follow-up. Do you expect any more attrition from your roster in terms of players departing?
No, we don't think so. The guys that were here in the spring, most of them have left campus now, and they've had, as I mentioned, a great spring, and they've all indicated how excited they are to be back here in a month and get into our summer workout program. And so with that said, we don't.
Ben McKee, David Pascal, and Rob Lewis.
Rick, just over the course of your career, have you ever dealt with this much turnover when you combine the roster attrition and the coaching staff attrition? And what's going to be key over these next couple of months to get the team chemistry where it needs to be with so many new pieces?
Well, have we had it before? Yes, I've dealt with it. We had gotten down one time. We only had 4 players in our program at Texas, and only one of them had played significant minutes, and had lost some coaches too. But starting with our staff, I've been so impressed with Coach Gainey and Coach Clark, and the fact that they have come in and quickly the chemistry between them and the players is evident already, and the fact that they're professionals. They know what they're doing. They know what they need to do. And you guys know us here. We're all in it together, but they've made that adjustment quickly, and in terms of the relationship that we all expect to have, coach-player relationship, and that will only it'll only grow more and more. But what we always count on when we have the guys that are coming back is to help lead these young guys and show them the way and get them up to the speed that it takes to compete at this level. And it'll take everybody involved with our staff. I mean, everyone, because we really do try to pride ourselves on the fact that the player coach relationship. But I've also said to you that works both ways, and we just feel good about these guys and the fact that every one of them they've indicated to us how they're excited about getting here, wanting to get started right away. And so that's again something that we're looking forward to, because we didn't get to do that last year in June, and it was exciting to be back in the gym, for a couple of weeks here, for a couple of workouts with the players that are coming back. And we expect those guys to have a big part in this in terms of helping us get these guys all acclimated into the program and the way we do things. But it's a fun time right now because, when you have turnover, you bring in new guys that bring in some different thoughts and ideas that you talk about and listen. And because we're always going to do everything that we can to make our program better every day. We talk to our guys about getting better every day. And I think as a coach and staff, we feel the same way. We've got to continue to figure out how we can improve as a staff and what can we do in terms of this team will be different. It'll be a much different team than we've had in a while. It's a long team and length, and we feel like we've got a lot of things, different weapons that we're going to be able to use that we're excited about.
Rick, along those lines, and I know this may not even be fair given it's not the first preseason practice dribble yet, but do you go into years saying this team is built better than some other years? I mean, do you go in saying, given the roles and given the dynamic of this team that you've assembled, I mean, could this be a better built team given more defined roles?
Well, I think it goes back to, every year you're trying to, put together the best group that you can put together and hope that things work out. Just like a year ago, I go back to the excitement we had a year ago, but did not understand what the COVID would do to all of us involved in college athletics. And I've said before, I mean, it was really tough watching John have to go through the kind of year he went through this past year, and those things that happen that you really have no control over. It's tough to watch, but that's why, again, we're excited about him coming back, and the other guys have played big minutes. But I think every year you look at your team and you do have to be willing to make adjustments, and you have to adjust to your personnel. And as a pro, I've never believed in just having a system. We try to recruit to what we do. Don't get me wrong here, but sometimes you get guys, some of them surprise you. They can do more than you might think. And sometimes maybe not as much as you thought. But the fact is there is an adjustment period. But the way I think this team is built, I like to think that we're going to be able to rebound the ball better, and because we're going to be bigger. And I think we'll shoot it better, which is important that we do that. And but more importantly, I think just the fact that hopefully we're going to get back to a normal year where we're going to be able to do the things that we had done in the past, where we can continue to get better each day.
Quick follow with Justin Powell coming in. How similar are Justin's game and Santiago's game? It seems like they're versatile guys that can shoot, that can run the point if needed. Do you see more similarities or differences between those two?
No, I think there's some differences there. I see Justin. I mean, Justin can do that. You mentioned it. He can. He did that. He's proven that he can play the point if he has to. But he's a guy that I think is really terrific at coming off screens, creating offense where he moves without the ball. I think he's going to be great at that. And I think that he will be able to, from that, not just score it, but create some offense too. But in his size, I mean, his size is obviously a huge advantage too, in the fact that he's long. But Justin does have the versatility, and Santi does too, but Justin's bigger. But I think Santi is a guy that feels better when he's has the ball, playing with it, and getting in different actions that way. Whereas I think Justin really is looking forward to coming off, because we like guys that come off screen and catch the ball and score it. And Justin's going to be really good at that for us.
Coach, a lot of veteran coaches just rail against the transfer, the way that, kids can move these days. And you seem to have embraced it. I mean, I know you just took one and, most of your guys were high school guys, but how important is it, you think, that you're able to adapt to kind of the new reality now that is college basketball?
Well, it is reality. And the fact is, I don't think you have a choice but to adapt to it. And so, at the end of the year, when we talk about players and talk about, the ones that want to know more about opportunities to play, and sometimes, they want to play more. The transfer portal is there for them to go do that. I think that the one thing that will probably, I don't know if they've gotten there yet, but right now, I think you've got to, it ends July the 1st, I think, where next year they're talking about maybe May 1st. And which would probably be better from a coaching standpoint, because you can manage your roster better like that. Obviously, because you want to start building and putting things together. But I just know the guys that we've lost that have gone places. I know this; they're good people, and we enjoyed having them in our program. But more importantly, we want them to have a chance. They want to play more, and if they felt as they did that it'd be best for them to go somewhere else and find that opportunity. That's what it's there for. And on the other hand, when guys go into the portal, if we think they're good enough to come here and help us fill a need, and it goes both ways. Players can use it, coaches can use it, but the reality is it's here, and you have to adapt to it.
And unrelated, but I guess in 6 seasons, you've had 4 assistants leave for head coaching jobs, which is a pretty big number. Is that more about the kind of guys you're hiring, or is that something you're doing to develop them, do you think, while they're here?
No, I think it's them. And, I've always, Rob, and, you and I've talked about before, I've always wanted to hire guys that want to be head coaches, guys that are qualified, guys that work at the profession, understanding that, there's a right and a wrong way to do it. But so much of that's in place before they get here, because we really do work hard in terms of vetting guys when we bring them here. And the thing I will tell you is almost every guy that we've hired that some way, somehow I've had a relationship or knew them through somebody that had a really good relationship with them. Almost everyone to the man, they're better than advertised. And I think the same thing true of Coach Gainey and Coach Clark. I really believe that when you get around people, and I've said it before, until you really get around people and are with them on a daily basis in conversation, and you're not sure, even though you want to be as sure as you can when you make the hire. But I can tell you that the guys that we brought with us, it's really a compliment to them, the way they've attacked the profession, the way they've had their sights set on being head coaches, and the fact that they've done things the right way. They want to do things the right way, but and it's a compliment to them, but it's also a compliment to our program that they've been able to come in, and I like to think they've been able to learn some things while they're here, but yet it goes back to our hiring, that we feel like we have an incredible opportunity here for all of us, including myself, and having a chance to be associated and work, for the University of Tennessee is a great opportunity. And just like I knew it, I think assistant coaches out there understand that it's a great place to be, and with what goes on here, they'll have a chance if that's their goal. And like I said, we hire guys that want to be head coaches, because the better they are, the better we are.
Last 3 for Coach Barnes go to Rick Russo, Mike Wilson, and Ben McKee.
Hey, Rick, you talked about Fulke coming back. How much did you help him with that decision? And Rick, with his experience, do you almost see him as a player coach out there on the floor for you next year?
Well, Rick, what we did, we gave Fulke space. We obviously let it be known that we wanted him back, and he's welcome here. He would always have a spot here if that's what he wanted to do. But we felt like he just had to get it right in his own mind. And I think he did it the right way. He came in the gym with us. Once we went back to our spring workouts, he came in. He didn't do any contact work with us because he was under the concussion protocol. But he was in there every day, and also in there a lot on his own. And we just felt again that he needed the space, and we gave him the space. We didn't have a timetable or anything like that with him, and he thought long and hard about it. But in terms of him, I do think that he wants to come back and wants to go out on his terms. I felt that from the beginning because he's been such a part of our program since he's been here in so many different ways, and he's endured a lot. But yeah, with that said, will we count on him to lead the way and do this? Absolutely. I mean, he's been here. He knows us better than anybody, and I see that. I do know this. He's gotten better every year in so many different areas, and I do know that the guys were all really excited seeing him in the gym with them this spring. Even though, like I said, he didn't when we were doing some competing, he didn't do that, but the fact that they felt like he wanted to be back and be a part of it was really gave us all, I think, just put a smile on our face for one, because of how much and how well he's thought of here, and how much people appreciate him. And we also know that how it ended was a really tough way, and so we're excited for him, and I think he's going to come back in a big way.
Thanks, Coach.
Rick, with Brandon Huntley Hatfield, I believe he plans to or has reclassified to 2021. What was the process there of him moving up a year and you guys bringing him in for this season right away opposed to 2022?
Well, he had talked about it for quite some time. We've been recruiting Brandon for a long time, and has a chance to be just a terrific player, as we all know. And but what I love about him is that he did take his time, and he put a lot of thought into it, because the wheels were in motion back really a couple months ago where it might be a possibility, and the more we talked about it, and he knows it's going to be a challenge for him, but yet he's embraced it. He did his due diligence in terms of talking to players and wondering what it was going to be like coming in a year early, and so with all that said and done, we're excited for him because again he's thought long and hard about it, and he knows that he's going to come in and get a chance to go up against some good players, but he has set some very high standards for himself. And the one thing I loved about him was he kept talking to me about how much he wanted to be coached, how much better he wanted to be. And with that said, for a young man that, class up like that, I think it says a lot about him. And so we're excited because we know he's got a chance to be, like I said, a terrific player.
Rick, I know it's early, but with the addition of Jonas and Brandon as well, do you think that'll allow Folky to be more of a 4 this year? Kind of felt like he had to be the 5 a little too much last year. Have you assessed that yet? I know it's early.
Well, after 6 years, we're actually thinking about playing him at the point. We think that he's got it figured out that he can play any of those spots. But I think what will be really, to answer your question truthfully, he won't have to stay down there as much as he's had in the past. I mean, that was a tough thing for him, really, because teams game plan for him, and it was obvious that their deal was to beat him up. Just body him up wherever he was. Just anyway, whatever it would take. And physically, he did. He was getting pounded on it everywhere he went. So I think the fact that he'll be able to go back to playing the way that he had really played for really the most part of his first 3 years here is the way we see him.
All right, Coach Barnes, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and transition to assistant coach Justin Gainey now.